Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where today I'm going to provide you with my best advice on how to kill the Object 477A Molot. As of this video, it has been 5 days since the release of the 477 and it has taken Era 3 by storm. Not only that, but it has also created somewhat of a whirlwind of discussion, the primary topic being it's overpowered and it needs to be nerfed. That conversation aside, wanting to know how to kill a particular tank is a question that goes back to the very first battle ever played in World of Tanks. The easiest way to answer that question, the question being how do I kill a 477, is to say play it for yourself. Or in this case, listen to other people who have played it. When you're fighting a tank, its weak points are not obvious. But when you're playing it, you very quickly realise that firstly, the tank everyone is struggling to kill is in fact killable, and secondly, there are some glaring weak points that must be aimed at if the vehicle is going to die. So far, in the background here, you can see clips of me getting killed in the 477. So the first box has been ticked. It is killable. Second, is my observation when playing it. I was dying because I was facing multiple enemies and they were consistently knocking out my tracks. Tracked once, use the repair kit, you're back on your feet. Oh, well, back on your feet. Back on your tracks, I should say. But once you get tracked for the second time, you're stuck. Taking advantage of a tracked 477 is how you kill it. Even with track mechanic and the general mechanic crew skill, you do not have enough time to counter multiple close range attacks. So, we have established that tracking the 477 is the key to killing it. But what can you do to maximize your tracking capability? Well, you need to fire high explosive at the tracks. You can fire armor piercing, but high explosive is more likely to get you a tracking shot because you don't need to be quite as accurate with a high explosive round. The reload of most Era 3 vehicles is sub 6 seconds. If you can use the cover around you to protect yourself while planting consistent shots into the tracks of the 477, you can buy yourself time to get around its side and to its rear. Once you're behind this thing, it's pretty much game over for the 477. With its limited turret traverse and its slow hull traverse, there is really very little it can do when an enemy tank is directly behind it. Now, if a 477 is up against the map boundary or another piece of cover that makes it difficult to get around to its rear, that's going to be tough. What I would recommend in those situations is either just move on. In Era 3, you've got the speed, you've likely got the cover, you can just move on, just drive away from it. Or you can wait for help to arrive. Now, everything I've just said does not guarantee that you will never be hit by a 477 again. It is likely that you will take at least one shot while you're moving into position while doing the things that I've just recommended. But taking one shot from a 477 while being proactive about getting into a position where you can kill it is far better than taking shot after shot while, simultaneously pulling your hair out, wanting to throw your controller at the screen because you just can't find a frontal weak spot. Tracking these things is, from my experience as a 477 driver, I have noticed that getting tracked is how it is killed most often. Obviously, not every time. I did in fact take a full damage shot from a Weasel's ATGM. I'm not quite sure where that ATGM impacted. I didn't watch the replay, but there is clearly a frontal weak spot there that the Weasel found. I don't know if they were deliberately aiming for it. It was a long shot. It may have just been RNG being RNG. But if I were to sum up how to kill a 477, it is play in numbers, play as a team. Do not face a 477. You can face a 477 on your own because you can track them to get around the back, but obviously a single target for a 477 is a lot easier than multiple targets. So play as a pack, play as a platoon, play as a team, plant multiple high explosive shots into its tracks, keep it perma-tracked, drive around to its sides and rear, and there you go. It's free damage from the rear end. Because it can't get its turret around, it can't get its hull around, and if it does try to do either of those things in Era 3, it's likely you've got the mobility and the speed to just out-turn it, or whatever it is, you just out-drive it. So, there you go folks, that is how you kill a Object 477A Molot. Alright, that's about all I have for this one. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave it a like, if not a dislike, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.